My father was born on December 7th, 1917. At that time, the tallest skyscraper in the world topped out at around 700 feet. This is my dad in 1964, and this is me. My name is David. I am the fourth of his 5 children. This is our family, a typical family on a typical day. But none of us is really typical, are we? We all have our strengths and weaknesses, our own divergent talents. All of us, in our own way, change the world just a little bit. I like to think that my father changed it a little bit more than most. Lynn Beedle grew up in California, completing his undergraduate work at the University of California at Berkeley. Following a special 5-year assignment in the Navy conducting underwater explosion research, he received a citation for his outstanding service for his work at the 1946 Bikini atomic bomb tests. Finally, he moved on to a small engineering school in Pennsylvania. The school was Lehigh University. He worked there for over 50 years. He's still there. They can't get him to leave. At Lehigh, he quickly rose to full professor and also became director of the prestigious Fritz Engineering Laboratory. There, he directed research on the behavior and design of steel structures. This work helped to significantly impact the design and use of steel structures. His students from that era have since spread the message worldwide and are now among the recognized leaders in the field. Then, in the late 1960s, he struck upon a notion that would change his life and start him on the journey that brings him here for this honor tonight. It's appropriate that my father receives this tribute in this magnificent city of New York, amidst countless engineering marvels that stretch toward the heavens, that scrape the sky. For me, it is the tall building that defines my dad. When he conceived of what would eventually become the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat, he saw a need to bring together as never before those brilliant men and women responsible for these amazing structures. And they came, they participated, they shared their immense knowledge. Developers, architects, planners, engineers, builders. The Council's roster of supporters quickly became a who's who of the best and brightest in the world of tall buildings. The Council soon became a successful international organization, dedicated not only to proper design, building methods, and techniques, but also to ensure that the tall building's place in the city, its involvement in the fabric of urban life, was appropriate, safe, informed, and culturally aware. For more than 25 years, Lynn Beedle served as the Council's director. During that time, he traveled to more than 40 countries. Leading hundreds of conferences and congresses. Bringing together the world's top professional leaders. The results and benefits continue today, with an ongoing series of monographs that serve as the unofficial textbooks on tall buildings. One of the world's most comprehensive building databases, and continued sharing of information throughout the world. It's no secret that my father loves his work, His passion and drive has always been marked by the day-to-day effort that it takes to inform, to teach, and to improve the world around him. I'm sure he'd say that the award he receives tonight is very much appreciated, but secondary to the ongoing life and vitality of the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. My mom and dad are the center of a close-knit family of 5 children and 9 grandchildren. Spouses, kids, in-laws, and friends are enveloped and welcomed into an extended family that is honestly amazing.
When we were young, as children we'd run. It seemed every day.
We vacation together, eat together, laugh together, cry together, celebrate together. All of us, the whole family, live within a half hour of my parents' house.
Together we stand, look ahead and see. Together we cross one more boundary. And the goals that we've made will reach one by one. The journey's begun. So here we are.
What my parents have given to us is remarkable. Moments of pure joy, comfort in time of sorrow, an appreciation not only of the world outside us, but the feelings we hold inside.
It's the faith we share that brings us to this height.
As successful as my father's professional life has been, I look at my family and I have to say, now this is success.
And the goals that we've made will reach one by one. The journey's begun.
For almost 4 years, I had the privilege of working alongside my father. I never really saw a transformation from the father at home to the boss at work. He was always the same, always consistent. This was crystallized in my mind while on a trip with my father to Chicago in 1996, during a meeting of the Council on Tall Buildings. The Petronas Towers in Malaysia had just been topped out, and according to the Council's criteria, had now become the world's tallest buildings, passing Chicago's Sears Tower. For weeks prior to the meeting, Council headquarters fielded phone calls from the press, wondering how this could be. Sears was 110 stories tall, Petronas a mere 88. But according to the Council's criteria, the Petronas Tower's spires, an integral part of the structure and architectural vision, counted. Now, the Council's executive committee would meet and revisit the criteria. At the meeting, the discussion was short. The criteria would stand as is. The Petronas Towers were officially the tallest buildings in the world. After the meeting, as I watched the Chicago press file in, it became quite apparent that it was to be my father that would break the news to the world. Reporter after reporter asked question after question. At first, it seemed so odd to see my father surrounded by this media frenzy to be the center of this attention. And suddenly, it seemed completely correct and natural. He was just doing what any father would do: lead his family in the right direction, explain why tough decisions must sometimes be made, comfort those who feel let down with words of encouragement and hope, take what he's learned and pass it on to his family. As quickly as it started, the frenzy stopped. That evening, as we took the train from downtown Chicago, Dad sat back for a well-deserved rest. And I thought about him. I thought about how lucky the professional world is to have him. And I thought about how lucky I am to have a father who, in my mind, is even taller than the buildings he's come to represent.